chapter number 19, The Secrets of the Survivors. There were two signs in the window. The first read, Family Chiropractic Center, and the second, Now for Lease. Call Ace Commercial Real Estate Brokerage. Just a quick peek inside the door told the story. Great colors, nice new carpet, fresh paint, interesting design detail in the front desk CA station, efficient central hall design, and a stack of letters on the floor under the mail slot, many with final notice stamped on the front. A failed chiropractic business. Notice I didn't say a failed chiropractic practice. I would guess that the few patients the doctor saw were thrilled with the care. That's the way it is with chiropractic. Chiropractic works miracles, even for ordinary chiropractors. But it's the business of chiropractic that needs to prosper in order for the practice to survive. If you're a chiropractic student, go back and read the previous sentence 2 more times and remember it. If you've been in practice for a year or more, you can't forget it. This doctor's misfortune illustrates that the science, art, and philosophy of chiropractic fails if the business of chiropractic fails. These 3 cherished components vanish from that office, that part of the community, that practice, the patients in care, and in some cases, that doctor. Try spending $150,000 to $250,000 on your chiropractic education and practice startup, and then tell your spouse and family that the money is gone and you can't pay your bills and you're starting to look for work in construction. How would that test your faith? Yeah, chiropractic's great. It's just me that sucks. Ouch. I'm so compelled by sympathy for chiropractors who are too close to that same fate that I have to say, and say emphatically, that it doesn't have to be that way. I've coached many chiropractors who turn to me for help in the 11th hour, who have been able to pull the nose up just before a disastrous crash and have gone on to make a soaring success of their chiropractic business and practice. They found out that the difference between died and gone to heaven and just plain dead is knowing how to run a chiropractic business and running it well. In the capitalist economy we have in the United States, the vast majority of healthcare is provided by private businesses. These private businesses or practices have to make a profit in order to survive. In chiropractic, that is even more so. Like every other business in chiropractic, there is the initial struggle to get and then keep a safe distance between receipts and expenses, the difference being the net profit. If there's enough profit in your chiropractic practice, you can afford to provide services again next month, next year, and the year after that. In fact, if there's enough profit in your practice, your business model may be worthy of reproduction, but that's another discussion. Since we're talking about profit, let's remind ourselves of the dreams that profit fund. You know, the wonderful house, nice cars, vacations, college for the kids, and a comfortable transition from full-time practice to part-time. This is an end game point here, but the happiest senior chiropractors I know still have their heads in practice 1 or 2 days a week. After all, they've spent decades building these skills and patient relationships. They're not just going to sit around and watch the dog. Here's an interesting fact about the purity of business evolution. The principle of the only the strong survive is true in spades in the United States, where 4 out of 5 unformatted businesses, we'll discuss formatted versus non-formatted later, die within 5 years. Lack of profit is always on the death certificate, and that's right, 80% die. What did the other 20% do to succeed, you ask? Some don't know. That group can't take the credit. It was either dumb luck or natural talent. I've seen a lot of both, and neither can be replicated. They aren't the teachers. Teachers didn't know at first, but learned, and now are kicking ass. Here's what they teach. Number one, before you even start, vow to do whatever is necessary to succeed. The only constraints on what you do should come from good ethics, and those guidelines are in the Golden Rule. Do unto others what you would have them do unto you. A great ethics assessment for selecting your action steps is this. Would you want a chiropractor to use those action steps to acquire and treat your parents as patients? Number two, never give up. After honesty, determination is worth 10 times any other attribute you can name. Number three, embrace the fact that your practice is a startup business. Do whatever you need to do to learn and excel at the fundamentals of the business of chiropractic, which include the following. Marketing. Everything else can be wrong, but if you're producing lots of new patients, you'll make it. Everything else can be right, but if you're producing too few new patients, you will fail. This is a hard truth for some, but chiropractic requires sales, and chiropractors are salespeople. Every business is sales, and everyone on the planet is a salesman. Anyone who has an opinion is a salesman. Decide to like it and be very good at it. And remember that the sale doesn't end when someone becomes a patient or when they choose lifetime care. It never ends. If now you're saying to yourself, I didn't get into chiropractic to be a salesman. I'm a doctor, not a salesman. Let me set you straight. You have a self-image problem or a fear of rejection, and you're trying to hide yourself behind a title or a degree. If you can get over that, you'll succeed. If you can't, that may be your office in the first paragraph. Management. You have 3 management challenges. Let's discuss the toughest first because it's you. Your biggest management challenge is getting yourself to do whatever is needed to make your practice flourish. I'm not talking about slave driving yourself through distasteful drudgery, but artfully helping yourself build a love for doing what you need to do in order to build the practice of your dreams. It is the most challenging, rewarding, and worthy of all endeavors. Your second management challenge is your staff. You may not have any staff at first, but you will. This will be the easiest of 3 groups, and therefore is often neglected. Few DCs invest the proper time, effort, and money in developing their staff. However, CAs, when properly trained and properly cared for, are the most consistent good in any chiropractic practice, and that includes the chiropractor. The third management challenge is your chiropractic patients. Your objective here must be to be of value to and stay in relationship with your patients for the rest of their lives. There isn't one person on the planet who doesn't need to have access to and know and understand why they should see their personal chiropractor. For me, it boils down to this. If some other chiropractor were responsible for my family, I would want them to bring my wife and 2 boys through any relief, correction, and strengthening care possible, and then into a lifetime chiropractic care program that included at least monthly checkups. Now, how to do this professionally for as many people as you care to and can serve is another lifetime challenge. But the good news is that just a few hours a week can make this a living reality. Operations. This includes all of the mechanics of your business practice, including the office and how it operates. Operations gets little attention, and that neglect produces so much stress. An interesting case study in operations is the University of Washington Husky Marching Band. They do a great halftime show. Ever wonder how that halftime show got so great? Practice, practice, practice. That's the essence of operations. However, Less than 1% of all chiropractors actually practice their procedures off the playing field. Ask Tiger Woods or Mark McGuire about practice. Finance. In short, don't spend it until you have it. I know that that's a little like locking the door after the horse has been stolen if you're $200,000 in debt to school loans. But if that's the case, it's even more important to be frugal. Start your practice with used furniture, used equipment, and a small office. Maybe rent space with an established DC who has all that already. After you start making money, get out of debt as fast as you can, and especially before you buy that boat. All right, that's the wake-up call. What do you do now, you ask? 3 things. First, believe. Believe that you can not only survive and succeed, but that you can have a blast doing it. It's like golf. The better your game gets, the more fun it becomes. Second, get some help. Where did the Marlboro Man, Frank Sinatra style, I did it my way thing come from? Pros get help, but rookies are sometimes too proud, too scared, too dumb. Take your pick. There are more out-of-business chiropractors because of this thing than anything else. Stop and ask for directions. Third, hang in there. It's a journey. Some are further away from the goal than others, but died and gone to heaven often starts just a few steps past where you thought that you were just plain dead.